Добро утро! Добро утро на всички, които се интересуват от образование в Италия. Виждам, че все още хора се присъединяват, така че ще дадем още една минутка възможност на всички, които се интересуват, да влезнат в стаята на събитието. Започваме след една минута. Well, Rosa, I'm giving one more minute to the people to join in. И така, още веднъж добро утро и добре дошли на всички, които се интересуват от висше образование в Италия. Аз се казвам Димитър Александров и съм представител на Агенция за образование в чужбина Skylines. Вече за 11-та година поредна организираме Дни на италианското образование в България съвместно с нашите партньори от Италианската търговска камера. Отново, поради създалите се обстоятелства, свързани с COVID-19, презентацията и тази година ще бъде под формата на Zoom презентации, като всяка една от образователните институции има своето време. Вие, надявам се, сте получили линкове към всяка една от представенията. И програма на самото събитие можете да намерите в нашия сайт Study in Italy. В секцията на самото събитие има програма, която програма, между другото, е с активни линкове, така че ако някои от вас не могат да си намерят линка към съответната презентация, могат от уебсайта директно през линка да влезнат в съответната презентация. Постарали сме се да създадем два интересни дни с интересни представяния и едни от най-търсените учебни заведения в момента от чуждестранните студенти в Италия. Всичките те представят програми на английски език, така че надявам се да ви бъде интересно. Днес имаме честа събитието да бъде открито от генералният секретар на Италианската търговска камера, госпожа Роза Кузмано, като след това Петя Ламова и Джорджия Бичели ще ни разкажат малко повече за образователната система и защо да избереме Италия като дестинация за обучение. Well, Rosa, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Dimitar, and buongiorno a tutti. I'm really also, let's first of all give some thank you, a big thank you to Skylines. Times are hard, but they didn't give up. So we are still there with Skylines in order to support you in your academic, let's say, desire to study in Italy. So thank you so much, Alexander, and thank you so much to all Skylines team, Petya, Antonia, and all the colleagues we were working during this period. They are basically, as I told you before the practice session, the master together with Dimitar of this project. It's one of the biggest projects in Bulgaria. I mean, it's the unique project in Bulgaria dedicated to Italy and dedicated to study in Italy. The Italian Chamber of Commerce in Bulgaria used to join from the really beginning, if I'm not wrong with my memory, throughout our chairman as well, Mr. Marco Montecchi, who will welcome all of you here and give thank to Skylines for the project. I'm really glad to see all of you taking part today. I see many of you joining at each seconds, let's say, the virtual session. Well, what I can say, we are still like, it's quite enough stuff about virtual, but we need, for the time being, to be virtual still now. Hopefully, and waiting for the physical study in Italy. I used to join the physical study in Italy for a long time. I'm more than 10 years in Bulgaria. I'm Italian. Sorry, I'm Rosa Cusmano, as Dimitar said, from the Italian Chamber of Commerce in Bulgaria, but I think that many of you knows us and knows me together with Skylines. Why we joined study in Italy, and why I think, and we think you have to continue your study in Italy. First of all, because I have been living in Bulgaria for a long time, and I meet many of Bulgarian students who had already experienced Italy. Culture, it's not just, let's say, going in the university and study. So the quality of experience, the quality of the studies, quality of let's say the master's and the bachelor's degree you are attending, path you are you are going to attend. It's a way of life. As we used to do in Italian, it's vivere all'italiana. It's a kind of slogan, is the hashtag you will find of many social network and also website of the Italian system, starting from the Italian embassy in Sofia to us, to our Chamber of Commerce in Bulgaria. It's vivere all'italiana. The important thing is that, as I used to do, I was studying, let's say, abroad and back to Italy for a period of time. So this is important, because you're going to achieve studying in Italy allows you to join the best of the Italian universities. It's not only presenting you the university, but from the Skylines team, they are going to introduce the university together with Giorgia, my colleague Giorgia Bicelli from Lingua Viva, and get the most information regarding the best offers in Italy we have, from the north to the south. From the north to the south, Italy, you know, it's 21 regions. They are so different. You will experience the northern side different from the southern side. So but they are the best. They are the best we have in Italy. So please continue joining all the day long, and tomorrow the session, Skylines, they are going to introduce you and meet the representatives of the Italian University, from Politecnico to Bocconi to Lewis, to Cattolica University. Let me just underline Cattolica University. We have as the same time cooperation with the Italian University, thanks as well to Dimitar Alexandrov. Why we have cooperation? Because after studying in Italy, you can be back to Bulgaria and you can join the Italian Bulgarian companies we have in the country. That's the issue. That's the mission of the Italian Chamber of Commerce in Bulgaria. We are a technical partner in order to support you in finding, in supporting as well, sorry for the same words, in supporting you in finding your job position, in finding your best job position in Bulgaria, in Sofia, in Plovdiv, in Ruse, in all the cities, because the Italian companies are based in the whole countries. In terms of numbers, you know very well that Italy is the second commercial partner of Bulgaria. Second, third, I mean, considering also the pandemic situation, but we are a strategic partner of Bulgaria. They were doing a lot. They were building a great cooperation in different sectors, from the food industry sectors to the design sectors to the architectural industrial sectors. So all you are going to study in Italy in terms of competencies and all the achievements you're going to get in Italy, you can apply in the Italian companies based in Bulgaria. You can, let's say, visit us and be with us and our team to find the best job position for you. Just as an example, I can tell you that some of you who were studying in Italy, they were working in the Italian Bulgarian companies in the country. So it's a concrete example of the real, let's say, action we are going and the real result we are going to give you together with Skylines. The Italian Chamber of Commerce in Bulgaria, of course, is based in the country. This is something that I want to share with you. We are there, but the Italian Chamber is based everywhere. In 56 countries. We are a network, a big network, an international network based in 56 countries. And you can enjoy, if you want, after studying in Italy, to be in the other countries throughout our network. One more thing before leaving the floor to the other colleagues, and before sharing with you a short video, just to let you know who we are and where we are and what we are doing for the bilateral cooperation. I just want to tell you that this big project, Study in Italy, promoted by Skylines, is coming today, 16th and 17th of October, basically in the day before the launching of Settimana della Lingua Italiana nel Mondo, you know, the Italian language week worldwide. It's the 21st edition all around the world, and is dedicated to Dante. I don't want to bother you with Dante because you know perfectly than me, the big poet we have, and you studied a lot about Dante, even more in your schools. So consider that it's a big initiative, and Skylines used to organize this and celebrate Settimana della Lingua Italiana nel Mondo throughout the study in Italy, if I'm not wrong, Demeter. So enjoy, please continue your morning and afternoon and tomorrow following the workshop presentation from the Italian universities. And in case of any kinds of needs from a commercial side, we are very welcome you are very welcome to our offices in Sofia, in Don Dukov. So, and follow us on our social network, you know, but please try to visit us because now it's the time, let's say, to restart being together and maybe have and meet each other, because relationships are strongly important. So I just asked Petya, our colleague, to share this video. I will just leave with this video, and grazie a tutti for your participation. Please continue, and you are more than welcome to study in Italy. Thank you.
È vero che all'estero la qualità parla spesso italiano? Sì, ma noi facciamo di più, perché siamo gli unici a parlare italiano in tutte le lingue del mondo e possiamo dare un futuro alla tua impresa all'estero. Le Camere di Commercio italiane all'estero costituiscono un grande network nato dagli imprenditori per gli imprenditori, una business community che promuove l'internazionalizzazione delle aziende, supportandole nella ricerca delle migliori opportunità grazie a una solida conoscenza dei contesti specifici. Una rete di professionisti radicati nei diversi mercati e integrati nel tessuto produttivo locale che si fa espressione delle business community italiane nel mondo. Un punto di riferimento essenziale per chi cerca interlocutori esteri capaci di comprendere le proprie esigenze e di fornire un'assistenza personalizzata. Le Camere di Commercio italiane all'estero parlano la lingua del tuo business. Per questo sono il posto giusto per la tua impresa nel mondo.
Thanks a lot, Petya. So, Camere di Commercio means Italian Chamber of Commerce in Bulgaria. You got it, I think. Grazie a tutti ancora. Thank you, Demeter. Thank you, guys, and thank you all the students here.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Rosa. Well, Petya, it's your turn now.
Yes. Добро утро и от мен. Извинявайте, но просто се включи следващото видео. Не знам дали се чу звука при вас. Добро утро на всички. Аз се казвам Петя Ламбова и съм част от екипа на Skylines вече над 10 години. С следващата презентация искам да насоча вашето внимание защо да изберем Италия като дестинация за висше образование. Така, ето тук. Така. Италия безспорно е една от най-привлекателните дестинации за туризъм в Европа и света като цяло. Тя привлича българските студенти с своя темперамент, прекрасни условия за туризъм, кулинарни изкушения, архитектура и много други. Страната има дългогодишна академична история и се гордее с едни от най-древните и все още действащи университети, като университета в Болония, създаден през 1088 година, както и университетът в Падуа, който е и наш партньор. Насред огромния избор от програми на италиански език, все повече университети въвеждат програми и на английски език. Българските студенти могат да избират от програми в сферите бизнес, икономика, медии, комуникация и пиар, архитектура, инженерни дисциплини, дизайн и изкуства и, разбира се, медицина. Италия има една от най-развитите и устойчиви икономики в света и университетите и академиите поддържат тесни връзки с индустрията и бизнеса. Честа практика е студентите да участват в стажански програми и по този начин придобиват много ценен опит, който ще им бъде полезен за следваща професионална реализация. Колко струва обучението в Италия? Освен образователните програми на италиански и на английски език, Италия предлага и достъпни такси за обучение. Таксите в държавните университети варират между 900 и 3900 евро на година, докато в частните университети и академии те са по-високи в зависимост от програмата и степента на обучение. Дали ще изберете бакалавър или магистър. Характерно за Италия е, че таксата във всички държавни университети и в повечето частни образователни институции се изчислява въз основа на семейния доход на студентите от Европейския съюз. Това е възможно чрез предоставяне на пакет от документи спрямо конкретните изисквания на учебното заведение. В голяма част от случаите при получаване на стипендия за държавните и някои от частните учебни заведения, таксите на студентите са възможно най-ниски, като дори се случва и да бъдат отменени. Предоставя се също подпомагане и за настаняване и издръжка. Също така съществуват и стипендии, за които може да се кандидатства, като те са главно академични за висок резултат и финансови при ниски доходи. Съществуват и специални стипендии, които се предоставят главно от частните образователни институции и те са разпределени по различен критерий. Портфолио, есе, ранно записване, специални стипендии за българския пазар и други. Skylines дава информация за всички възможности за кандидатстване за стипендии, изчисляване на таксата за обучение, допълнително финансово подпомагане и отстъпки за ранно записване. Настаняването и търсенето на настаняване е може би най-предизвикателният процес от цялото кандидатстване, но със сигурност не е мисия невъзможна. В официалните страници на всички учебни заведения има предоставена информация за търсене на настаняване. Благодарение на дългогодишния ни опит и връзките с студентите, с които работим, ние можем да предоставим информация за това как те са търсили своето настаняване и това, че най-често се използват посредници, които са агенции за недвижими имоти в търсенето на настаняване. Кандидатстване. Ние сме официален представител на всички учебни заведения, които участват на Дни на италианското образование този уикенд, както и на редица други, които може да намерите в нашия уебсайт Study in Italy. Предоставяме информация за възможни програми, срокове за кандидатстване, необходими документи, възможни отстъпки и стипендии. процедури за записване и информация за търсене на настаняване. Нашата колежка Джорджия Бичели, която е и директор на училище Лингуа Вива, ще предостави повече информация за това какъв е точно процесът за кандидатстване, къде и как има приемен изпит, как да се подготвим за него и как да изберем правилното учебно заведение, както и други практични насоки. Georgia, it's your turn. Thank you.
Okay. Hello, good morning, everybody. Buongiorno a tutti. I will share my screen and then I will start the presentation. Okay, now I can share. Thank you. Okay, while we start, a few words. I'm Giorgio Parisi. I am the director of Lingua 2 Milano, an Italian school in Milan. And for many years, we have dealt, for the group for over 30 years has prepared students to university exams. So we are specialized in preparing students to admission tests for universities. And thus we have a deep knowledge of, a good knowledge of what it entails to access an Italian university. First of all, I would like to as well to thank Skylines and Alexander Dimiter for this opportunity to promote Italian studies in Italy and to do it in such an organized way, because you will have in these 2 days the opportunity to learn about the universities, to learn about the different study degrees that you can choose, whether bachelor and whether master. Today, I will give you just a small overview on studying in Italy, and then on Sunday I will have another seminar, which is the ending seminar. I think it's the last seminar of the session, in which we can talk in more details about exams, about scoring, testing, the various tests to access bachelor degrees. And so let's see some of the reasons why you can study Italia in Italy. Petya has just given you some very good reasons. Choosing to study abroad is always quite something. I myself, I studied abroad, so it is always quite a decision to make. But generally speaking, it's an excellent decision because it is, I think, mind-blowing, mind-opening. It gives a different perspective, and it gives you definitely added value. So the universities in Italy. Italy is a country, you have heard it. There are more than those on the screen. Italy is a country which has a rich cultural base, a rich due also to its history. And so we have also, as you know, a long-standing tradition of university studies. So in Italy, there are something like 96 universities scattered. You know, this is just a sample. Some of them, 11 of them are online universities, but you have almost a university in every city, and almost in every city you have also a music conservatory or an academy of fine arts. So there is really a very intense network of study, higher education opportunity almost in each Italian city. From instead of saying from north to south, let's say from south to north. So, and believe it or not, this is the other surprising thing, because we always have a concept about studying in Italy. You know, you think, oh, I want to study only, you know, in the northern part, but there are excellent universities in the southern part of Italy too. This also according, of course, to the to some ranking we're going to see later. So as I said, Italy is more and more becoming a study destination, because we're not talking only about private university, we're talking about a large offer of state universities. And studying in a state university, the study is always at a very good level. So when we talk about Italian university, we talk about like mega campuses. So this means universities where you have more than 40,000 students studying. So, you know, 40,000 students is almost the population of a small city. And for example, this is Bologna, Padova, La Sapienza in Rome. Those are mega campuses. Those are big campuses with more than 40,000 students studying. You have Bologna, Padova, Roma, one of the universities in Rome, of course, and the biggest university is La Sapienza. Then you have big universities. Big universities mean university that have from 20 up to 40,000 students, so not small campuses. And some of these are, for example, among, there is Perugia, which is very good. There are a good university is in Siena. Another good university of this Pavia. Sorry, Siena is I wanted to say Salerno, which is here. It's another university that has made a very good ranking. Sorry, so we didn't put Salerno, but Salerno is slightly south from Naples. So those are what we call the big university, with a student population that goes from 20,000 to 40,000. Then we have smaller campuses, medium-sized campuses, which can be Trento, up here in the north, excellent, also an excellent university. Then we can have Siena and even Sassari here, which has a very good campus. If you study architecture, for example, in Italian, they have a very good faculty of architecture, believe it or not, in Sardinia, in Sassari. Then you have smaller universities, smaller campuses, and many are in this region around Ancona. So you have Cameri. So smaller campuses means up to 10,000 students. So it can be 5,000, 6,000, 10,000. So you have, for example, Camerino, Macerata. In this small region, Marche, we have indicated here the main city, but here there are plenty of universities. Such a small region, and you already have 3 universities, and of good quality, all of them. So this is Italy. It's surprising, the variety, the vastity, I would say, the richness, and the offer. So this is just to give you an idea. And remember, basically, that out of this, we said the 95 university, half of them are top universities in world ranking. In the world, there are 26,000 universities, and Italian university, depending on the year, sometimes it's 41, 40, sometimes it's 45, are always among the 1,000 best, and some among the 1,000 top 100 in general. Then for certain studies, they're among the top 10, top 20. So this means that half of the universities in Italy, in these countries, are among the best in the world. So this is also to give you an idea why it is so interesting also to have Italy as a study destination. Let's go and see a little bit about the Italian system. So in Italian studies, the high school diploma is attained after 13 years of study. So from an international student, the requirement is to attend school, to have at least 12 years of schooling. If you have less, then you have to take either a foundation course or a first year at university or other, you have to check. But high school in Italy, it's 5 years. It's 5 years elementary school, 3 years middle schools, 5 years of high school. So an Italian student goes to university normally when he's 18. Between 18 and a half, 19. So this is the average age. How is the university structured? In 1998, all universities in Europe anyway have gone what we call the Bologna reform. So they've structured themselves in a very similar way, and this allows also a fruitful exchange of studies. So the restructuring of the university means that all the studies have been organized in a 3-year bachelor degree and a 2-year master, usually specialized in master. So with the 3 years, you have an undergraduate bachelor, and then depending on what you study, you can choose to do a 1 year more to stop there and do a specializing, professionalizing master. Most of the students choose to do a master, so a postgraduate program of 2 years, which allows them again to continue eventually in an academic career if they wish to, and to move to what is the top of the university career, eventually a PhD, or in case of other studies, a specialization studies. Then we have certain degrees like medicine, like veterinary science, but this is in most countries, like pharmacy, building engineering, architecture in some cases, but only for the Italians. Law studies, we call them one cycle degree. So one cycle degree means that you enter university with a high school diploma, you exit university with a master. And the length depends. Medicine is 6 years, some studies are 5 years. For example, a master degree, what we call the Architettura Ingegneria Edile, which would be the master for architecture in English, it's a 5-year studies, but medicine is a 6-year studies. Then if you make all the exams in 6 years, and then you have 3 years specialization. So we call this one cycle degree because, as I said, the end result is the master. Otherwise, for the most common type of studies, for example, if we look at engineering, design, agriculture, biotechnology, chemistry, physics, whatever, you always have the 3+2 system. So, and the 3+2 system allows you also a certain flexibility, because if you obtain a bachelor in Italy in one degree, you might choose to do your master degree in any European university. There are many students, for example, that do a Bachelor of Architecture and then decide to go and study, I don't know, to do their master degree maybe in another European university in something that they like more. So this is also a good possibility. The same structure, the 3+2, as we call it, 3+2, it's in all type of studies in Italy. So you have the same structure if you study in the Academy of Fine Arts. You have the first 3 years, which will give you what we call an academic diploma degree, which is equivalent right now to a university degree. And then you have the specialization of 2 years. And the same also, if you're a musician and you want to approach the music world, you want to study, I don't know, in Italy in a music conservatory, it is the same approach, 3+2. So everything has been structured along these lines while studying in Italy. And as I said, only certain studies, because they require then, why one cycle degree? I want to explain a little bit this one cycle degree. These are all studies that afterwards require a specialization and also at times a state exam, because you have to exercise something to become an architect, to become a lawyer, or if you want to do a certain kind of career. So they're also linked to some other national requirements, and that's why they have this quite a long structure. Okay. We move on. University ranking. So this is another question that students are always asking. Why is there a university ranking? Well, I want to say something which has struck me and has made me very happy, and I think has made Italians all very happy after having won the European Championship football. After having won, I mean, I read an article in this sense. After having won the European Song Contest, I mean, I was amazed when I read it. And then all the medals at the Olympics, we also won a Nobel Prize. So it was put in this order, in this article. I would say Italy has, not Italy, but I think it is a proud achievement of the quality of tuition in Italian university that the 2021 prize for physics. There are some questions in the chat already, but we'll deal them maybe at the end of the, I don't know, of the seminar. So the Nobel Prize for Physics, so a scientific subject, was won by a professor of La Sapienza University. This is why we have La Sapienza here in the university ranking. And Giorgio Parisi, this very well-known professor, is someone that did his full study career in Italy. This is something that he did not go to do his master at Harvard or MIT. He did his whole studies, his PhD, his research at La Sapienza, and he wrote a lot of papers, and he won the Nobel Prize on a subject which is quite unusual and interesting. It is the creating a system in complex, chaotic natural system. I'm something or causal systems, causal phenomena in physics. So this is it was very interesting, and the whole of the Sapienza students, when they learned about this news, of course they were very proud. But this is why because at times we consider Italy as a destination where to study only certain subjects. But when this summer I had a student that came to study physics, and I told him that natural science are actually an excellent study area for in Italy. And I was suggesting him to go to La Sapienza, but he preferred to choose another university for other reasons, not scientific ones. And so just this to tell you, it's not the only Nobel Prize, of course, here, but La Sapienza, I think that for La Sapienza, this is the second or third Nobel Prize that they win over the years. Trieste is another university with Nobel Prize winners. So it is important for this destination. Now, I don't want to make it too long. So as I said before, in the ranking of, there are several rankings, as you know, that are published every year. Now, ranking give you, so especially the international ranking, which, look at, I don't know, out of the 26,000, they have a ranking about approximately 1,300, 1,600 university. They are per faculty, per papers, published papers, per employability of students after they ended university. There are several categories in which these universities are analyzed. Of course, generally speaking, on the top 10, I think there is Oxford is top 10 since 10 years or something in most of the rankings. And then for certain areas, there is MIT, Harvard, Stanford. Those are the universities. But then there are, it's important to know that there are important Italian universities ranking among the top 100, top 200, top 500, 600 of the world ranking. There are several types of world ranking. There is the QS, which is very well known. It's published every year. QS, it goes by subjects. They have a website. You can sign in, and it goes by, you can search by subject. You can search by general scores of the universities. There is a Times Higher Education ranking as well that comes out every year. And now more and more, that's the THE. I'm sorry that the screen is so small, but I have to put as many universities as possible, but the list is much longer. And then there is the ARWU ranking, and this is also known as the Shanghai Ranking. So that is from the very prestigious universities in Shanghai, which is called Jiao Tong. Beautiful campus. I had the honor of visiting it once in Shanghai, and I must say it's a beautiful, beautiful campus. I was very surprised. And also the Shanghai University publishes a ranking. So What we see here is that generally speaking, sort of as an overview of the Italian university, the traditional University of Bologna is the one, I mean, we're not talking about technical stuff, yeah, we're talking about general stuff. Bologna is one of the top universities in all the ranking. It's always, this is a constant, maybe it goes down 1 point, but it's always one of the top. Politecnico di Milano as a technical university, as you see, is top for QS. Then in certain faculties, like for example, design, and now I haven't seen this year, but the design faculty, at least until 2020, was among the 10 best in the world. So when we talk about admission test, bachelor admission test, you understand that if you want to study design at Politecnico di Milano, which is a limited number among the 10 best in the world, you have to prepare yourself, full stop. And the same if you want to do architecture, and the same if you want to enter engineering, because they rank among the 20 best. So this is the Padua is another excellent university. La Sapienza has a very good scoring, and La Sapienza until at least 2020, I should have checked this, but for example, is among the #1 universities in the world for classical studies. So if you want to study Latin, Greek, ancient studies, La Sapienza ranks among #1 university in the world. They have a super tough admission test also for that. So if you want to study your Latin authors or Greek authors at La Sapienza, make an effort as well for the test. But this is to say that the quality is good, generally speaking. It's an excellent quality, it's a state university, and it is affordable. And this is the thing that I'm always surprised at the level, at the quality, at the outcome when you study. We Italians, we complain a lot about our educational system. You know, when you live in Italy and you send your school when you send your children to school, the sport is to complain how anything and everything bad is. But to say the truth, the level is very good. Both the level is very good and also the level of education is very good. So, so as you can see, there are 6 Italian universities ranking about the best, also for the times, and the universities are Bologna, Padua, La Sapienza, Rome, and then some new universities as well have entered the Times, University of Milano, because there is a very good. Some of these rankings are also based on research, so PhD research, which is very good and very active in Italy. Okay, so, and then I want to say something very quickly. That's how you choose, you know, then I've given you at the beginning the number, you know, how big universities are. The ranking can be, of course, a criteria. Then once you have chosen your degree course, you need to know what it takes to access the course. So very quickly explained, there is always a test. At the beginning, there is always a test. This, no matter what you study. Then I know that most of the Bulgarian students prefer to study in English. They don't study in Italian, but then some Bulgarian students maybe that come from the schools like the Italian, the bilingual Italian school, Bagna Granja. I'm not sure I've pronounced it correctly. They might choose an Italian study track.
Bagna, I think.
Sì, esatto, yeah. Grazie. They might choose an Italian study, but they need to know that there's always an admission test, because an admission test allows why an admission test? It depends, of course, on the test. So we make a difference. We make a difference between national test. So this means national test means that the test more or less is the national test means that you are doing this test because there are limited places. So this means that are not a big number of places available. There are limited places. At times, like in the case of medicine, decided together with the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health, and the university. And the test is administered, issued, corrected by the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of University, sorry, Ministry of Education and University. So that's why it's a selective admission test. And there are several faculties like this: medicine, dentistry, veterinary, educational health, medical health profession, educational science. So these are the top, which are administered usually by the places are set by the Ministry of Education and the universities together. So the tests are national. So the tests screen. And to give you an example, what I mean by a screening test is that, for example, medicine, which is the queen or the king of all the tests, I think all over the world, but especially in Italy, for medicine, you have usually approximately 10,000 places available, something between 9,000 and 10,000 a place. I'm talking about medicine in Italian and English in general. 10,000 places available, at times 9,000, at times 8,900. It depends on the year. This year it was approximately, it was a little bit more, but you have also 60 to 63,000 students applying every year, taking the test. So this means that the test screens because only 10,000 people get in. Then depending on the various faculties, at times it's easier, at times it's more difficult. So this is the meaning of a national test. A national test screens, there is a limited number of places, and that's why you have to take a test, and that's why the test is never easy. Okay. Then there are degree courses with local tests. Also for this degree courses, when we say local, this means it is the university, or it can be, we will see later, an organization in which the university entrusts their administration of the test. What is a local test? A local test, it's something that either screens if the university decides that there is a limited number of places available for the students to study. It's not open to anybody, but sets a number of places available to study in a certain degree course, then this is a selective local test. An example, well, the most example is, for example, architecture. Architecture until 2 years ago, before COVID, pre-COVID times, was a national test. So it was also administered by a central body, by the Ministry of Education. Since 2020, it has changed. So it is with limited number of places decided, it's a hybrid, decided by the ministry still. So limited number of places decided by the ministry, but it is local. So this means it is not taken, it is not organized by the Ministry of Education, but the universities, they organize, they have their own tests following the same structure. Something a little bit complicated. Another local test, but screening, is design. For example, design at Politecnico is a test that the Politecnico, I'm talking about bachelor degrees, develops, and then, but it's different from the design test, I don't know, from UAV or the design test from Politecnico di Torino. So each university decides how to test their students for the limited number of places they offer. Then there are local tests, which are simply an evaluation. So for example, there are certain degrees, I'm thinking of which are open. Yes, I was looking at something, for example, I'm taking just this one, agricultural science. I don't know why I was looking at that, but there are certain degrees which are open. So, and also many natural science degrees can be like this, except maybe biology, which is very popular among students when they fail medicine, so they have to put a limit. But certain degrees, it is just to evaluate. For example, believe it or not, physics, because there are not so many students studying natural sciences. But what the university does, it says, you know, you take this test, and I want to check how much you know about math, how much you know about maybe physics, or depending on which degree course you're studying and which subject is important for the faculty for that degree course. And I tell you that if you don't reach this minimum score, then you need to take some additional courses. We call it OFA, debiti formativi, during the year. but you can still study. You can still enroll, you can still apply, you can still study now, but you need to fulfill this gap. So these are tests to evaluate the preparation of the students to certain degrees. This is the various types of approach. Now we're talking about, of course, bachelor or one cycle degrees. So we have the national test, which I did not tell you as well, that of course there is also a minimum score that you have to reach and all this. So there are the national tests, which are with selective entry and limited access. There can be local tests administered by the university with a selective admission test and limited access, or just an evaluation. So this all depends on what you're going to study. Okay, and okay, so this is an example of what is a national selective test, which is usually it's always in September, and it's a standardized procedure. Many of these tests are computer-based, some are paper-based, and you have to take them in presence, but most of them have a multiple choice structure. The TOLC system, those are all computer-based tests administered online, and these are again evaluation tests which are used. They are increasingly popular because they are used to evaluate various types they're used for various types of exam. For example, the TOLC, what we call TOLCI, TOLC-E in Italian, is the test which is used for engineering, for IT computing, for natural science. Is one of the most widely used tests to test students, and they're mostly computer-based. Then you have universities that have their own testing system. As I said before, design, engineering, psychology, depends on the university. So what I can tell you, as to round up a little bit this chat we had, is the 10 things you should always do, and which when I talk to students, they forget to do. Once you have chosen your university, you have discussed with your counseling, you have decided that you want to study, I don't know, biotechnology, or you want to study architecture in English, or engineering in English at a certain university, then one of the things you should do, I know it is complicated, is to check the call to admission to the test. So each university, when they do an exam to be admitted, they write a paper, in which there are all the rules, the number of places, when it takes place, where, more or less, how the test is structured, how many places are available, what do you have to do afterwards that you are assigned. The call to admission, it's a complicated read in Italian and English, but it's always good to have a copy and to read it, because all the questions that you might have are answered there. I mean, when I answer students, I read the call to admission. Now, I am now quick in going to look, because the language is complicated, but this is important. In this paper, in which there are the rules of all the tests, of all the exams, they are called call to admission, are published also for the master courses. So it's always important to have this basic paper issued by the university before anything, to know how it functions. Always important, check the deadline to enroll to the test, because there is always a deadline to enroll, to apply, to pay, and the deadline is always specified on the call to admission once it's published. Check also what is needed to enroll, because when you apply to an exam, maybe they need, I don't know, your ID. Maybe they need to have, if you apply to an English test, you have to send them previously your IELTS certificate if required. I mean, there are certain things that you have to do before you take the test. Read how the test is structured. Some students, they come and they have maybe no idea how the test is functioned. Either you read or you attend the seminar on Sunday, and I will tell you. Read also how much time you have for the test. Read about the grading system. Read about the minimum score. Read also when the exam's results and the test ranking is published, all the documents that are required to confirm the deadline to finalize enrollment. Reading or being informed about these things does not make you I mean, I help students in doing all this as well as in what we do, but it's also important to know these things, because at times students are a bit at loss, and it's important, you know, to be aware of what you're doing and when you're doing it. Just to give you a quick example, and I will end it very quickly here. I should not say it, but I had a student which I followed from December to July till he took the test for Politecnico of Milano Engineering, and he almost missed the deadline to finalize the enrolling. After that, I said, read the call. You know, he didn't read enough and he almost missed it. So, you know, so it is always important to read and be aware and you know, and to know. Then one thing that is always very important is to have a plan A and a plan B, always. So if you decide to study, always have a plan A, which I will get into my IMAT placement in Pavia. Okay, good, score your 60 out of 90 and you're there. But have a plan B in case you score 35 out of 90 and you're not in. So this is always very important to have and to keep in mind, which could be, let me check if I can do, I don't know, let me check if I have, if I don't make it, maybe I'll check if I can do pharmacy, or I can take the second test, or I can take biotechnology, or I can try something else. This is always very important, because as European Union students, which you are like Italians. So Italians always have a plan. Italians, when they approach medicine in Italian, you know, we say, you know, we go to All Saints. They do all the tests. They do everything. They do Cattolica, they do Sarafa, they do the private university first, they do the state university, they do the English test, and then see what happens. But of course, they're studying in Italian. What I say, it is always important to have a plan A and a plan B, because you never know. Maybe you can take the biotechnology test, which you don't need to confirm. Just take it, and you know that maybe you are admitted at pharmacy in Tor Vergata while you wait your results for I don't know, the IMAT, when that is very complicated. Some universities give you the chances to take more tests at once, but it's always, as I said, you don't have the limitation like certain other students of other categories have. Always have a plan A on what you want to study and a plan B, you know, which is coherent to your plan A, and so you are safely there. Okay, so with this I have ended my presentation, and then for details of test and how to do, I have a presentation on Sunday. So I give back the hosting to Petya, which okay, and okay.
Well,
and
Giorgio,
thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. Because quite a lot of questions came in, but the next presentation is starting.
Yeah, sorry.
I will say a few words in Bulgarian for the audience, for them to understand how the system is working. And once again, thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Тъй като презентацията на Джорджия продължи малко по-дълго, виждам, че има доста въпроси. Призовавам ви да влезнете в презентацията на всеки един от университетите. Там ще отговорим на по-голямата част от тези университети. Особено видях тук сега някои от въпросите, които ще бъдат покрити в следващата презентация и така нататък. Тъй като наистина остава само една минута до следващата възможност на Политехнико Ди Милано, който е един от най-интересните университети за българският пазар. Призовавам ви да влезнете в следващият семинар. Ще получите отговори на по-голямата част от тези въпроси. Можете втора магистратура, има подготовка за различните тестове и така нататък. Не мога да мина през всичките, но това, което ви призоваваме, задавайте своите въпроси в чат-бокса, а не в Q&A. В чата, защото след това ние можем да ги видим, те ще бъдат записани и на по-късен етап да ви отговорим на тези въпроси. Възползвайте се от тази възможност там да задавате въпросите си, като имайте предвид, че презентациите ще текат и накрая ще има възможност за въпроси и отговори. Още веднъж призовавам ви да влезнете в следващата презентация или презентациите, които ви интересуват. Те започват всеки момент на Политехнико де Милано. Презентацията и програма на събитието ще намерите на Study in Italy в секция програма. Ladies, thank you very much once again for all the support and for the great presentation.
Grazie.
Grazie. Ciao ciao, arrivederci.
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci.